I want to start here, and believe me, we're going to get back to school in a second, and you'll see the transition. A House Intelligence Subcommittee today is holding the first congressional hearing on UFOs in 50 years. Now, I don't know if the world has been paying attention to what is happening with the Pentagon and UFOs, but is, I think, the biggest story possibly of any of our lifetimes, may be the biggest story in all of human history. But let's talk about misgendering. What's happening right now is the Congress has decided to call a hearing on UFOs because there are things that are happening that for the very first time, the Navy and our military can actually track these UFOs. In the past, you haven't been able to track them. You've only had pilots that say, I swear to you, I saw this. But they move so quickly, at least the ones now, that they could never lock onto them. We have locked on to some sort of a ship with, as it's described, no apparent propulsion system, no heat signature, nothing. And they are moving at high speed, and we have tracked them, locked onto them for weeks at a time.
This shirt is made for tall guys like me. These generic department store tees end up looking like a crop top.
Onto them for weeks at a time. They move in ways that are beyond our understanding of physics, and we have seen them up close. They seem to be, according to the Pentagon, I can't say targeting, observing our nuclear weapons. They have been hovering over some of our naval bases. They have engaged in dogfights with our pilots. They have shown that they are way beyond our technology or understanding.
Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. It's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Preaching this word, doing the work of the Lord in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabon of Great Millstone, Arizona Camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. As you saw in the video I played, we got 2 minutes of it saying in Esau, the entire Edomite power structure is terrified because the Lord is showing his power in his hand in the earth, right? And they can't match it. So now you have them tracking these things. People having official reports. You're no longer being called crazy because you saw this and that. And, those that hold positions, that understand that, and actually listen to the Israelites, because a lot of them listen to the prophets. As it's written, man, we're set up as prophets to the nations. Right? When you go into the scriptures, other kings and other kingdoms knew who the prophets were. Right? It's nothing different than now. So they hear brothers bring out what they bring out, and now they're scared. Right? So let me do a split. Let me get some precepts, man. This is so look at Zechariah. Well, I'm gonna start at Jeremiah 10. Start here because they're getting terrified by these things, right? And they're showing the chariots are showing themselves to the believers, the brothers within the camps, even more and more while they're out there on the highways and byways doing what the Lord commanded. Jeremiah 10:1. It says, hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus say Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Right? So this is a sign in the heaven. Right? Recently we just had a blood moon come by. Right? Now you have more and more chariot sightings. Now more and more riots and mass shootings and things of that nature are happening. Right? Because the Lord is about to draw near. The Lord said he was going to give signs upon the earth. And these are all signs. And now Esau has to deal with the fact that the Lord is showing his power. And they're terrified. Because when you hear from us, your ass is going down. And you don't have an explanation for these things. So what you're forced to actually consider what brothers say. This is Zechariah 5 and I'll start at 2. I'll start at 1. It says, "Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." And this was talking about a chariot of the Lord, right? The scriptures tell you who make it as chariots as clouds, right? This is what it's talking about. Now, you got to understand what these chariots are coming to do. There's a dual purpose for these chariots that the scriptures tell you. Was thy anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the rivers? That thou didst ride upon thy chariots of salvation? Because what? These things can bring destruction and deliverance for the Israelites, right? Many times in the scriptures have the chariots been used to just decimate the heathen. Right? The fire, pillar of fire by day and by night that the scriptures talk about, that was the chariot of the Lord. Right? It says verse 2, it says, "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits." So this is one of those smaller ships. And they keep getting in contact with these. You got the Tic Tac UFO thing. You have, like he was saying, they're going in dog fights with Esau's jets. Satan and his angels, right? Michael and the Lord and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels, right? Because there's going to be a war in heaven, and what you're seeing is the two sides showing as much power as they can, and Esau is far behind, lacking in power, right? Verse 3, it says, "Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it." So who is the stealer? Who is the thief in the earth? Who was created to do those things? This is John 10:10. Right? This is how you know these things are coming to destroy you, Esau. Your entire Edomite, white supremacist power structure, right? You will never rule again. Once the Lord does his work, you will never have another chance. That's it. Finito. The story ended. The only thing that you can look forward to is that patch of dirt that you'll be forced to dig up to sleep in every night in the kingdom, while the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the ones that you beat down and oppressed, rule and reign over you with power and terror, just as you've done to us. And the same thing goes for the rest of you heathen, them Indians with your bachi or whatever, right? Whole dancing boys of India, and that shit's running rampant throughout the Middle East. You're gonna get it too. Don't confuse this shit. This is John 10:10. It says, "The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy." And who was the thief? Who got everything that he got? By thievery. Right? Scriptures tell you in Genesis that Esau's blessing was that he shall get the fatness of the earth through the sword. Who else rules the entire earth strictly through sword? Through thievery. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You can't shape it any other way. Even if you want to sit here and say the so-called Jewish people, they got their money by fucking thievery. Right? Only the true Israelites is still at the bottom, which the scriptures speak of. It says, "The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." So this is what it is. These chariots are coming to cut off the thief, right? And they're going to be getting down. And this is one of the huge chariots that the Lord was working on in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. And this is what all those smaller chariots are going to have the power to do as well. This is 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 11. I'll start up a little bit. verse 6, it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And this is talking about the chariot that Yahweh Shai is going to come back on. Right? He's rolling in the Father's whip. Right? That huge chariot. Just like you see in all those alien takeover movies, there's that huge ship bigger than all the rest. Yahweh Shai is coming on that huge ship. Right? It says, but I would have seen the region or the place whereout the hill was graven, and could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yes, durst fight. Right? So all these jets, all these fighter jets, these bombers, everything. All you Edomites, all these nations are going to try to fight against the Lord, even though they're going to be scared to shit. Right? You're going to be met with full out power. You're talking about the Lord coming in his glory. The scriptures tell you the chariots of the Lord are thousands, even thousands of angels. Right? You're going to be met with all out power, and it's going to be something to where you will not be able to stand against it. But the Lord's going to put it into you to fight, because this is his scene. This is what he wants. Right? It says, verse 9, it says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, right, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, right? No heat signature. He talked about no heat signatures, no propulsion systems, right? But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, and this is really talking about out of the chariots, right? Out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, right? It says, and you got to put this in a reality. Imagine that still silence, right? When everybody sees it and they're shook and they're afraid. When all the heathen see it, all those that want to fight against the Lord and the elect see it, they're shook and they're afraid. Imagine that gasp of air before everybody starts rushing to try to fight against the Lord. And here the Lord goes, just powering up, not moving, not worried. And all you hear is it sounds like a flame starts clicking. Sounds like thunder and lightning starts snapping. Right? Sounds like all the air around is being sucked in and turned. This is what's happening, man. It says, but I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the tempest, man. Imagine all that going all into one very tightly wound tornado, pinpointing, just wasting an entire land. This is what the Lord's coming with. This is what those chariots are coming with. The Lord is going to heap on fire, because Babylon, America, must be burnt. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, and this is what Esau has to deal with. This is what you fucking heathen are going to have to deal with. The Lord is coming back with great power. The Lord is going to save his people, man. He's going to lift us up. He's going to show his might, his arm in the earth. He's going to let you know that he is Yahweh. He is Yahweh Shai. And we are his people. Right? Let's see what else we got. It's Psalms 11. Or Proverbs 11. Psalms 11, Salakia. Psalms 11 and I'll start at 5. It says here, how would trieth the righteous, but the wicked, and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. And Esau is wicked as hell, and he loves violence. Loves violence. When you see these cops pull over people, you see the look on their face when they start actually sitting there putting out hell. Esau goes throughout the entire world. He has the richest nation, and somehow this nigga can't figure out how to stay at home or just, get some bitches and chill out. This nigga always wants a war. He always wants to conquer, subjugate, right? A so-called white man. It says, verse 6, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone. This is what's going to be issuing out of those chariots, as well as the nuclear missiles, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. You see? The Lord is about to burn America up, and it's going to be through those chariots, man. This is Job 15. Job 15. And 20. I ended on this one. It says, the wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden of the oppressor. It says, a dreadful sound is in his ears. Right? And the reports of all the chariots, that's a dreadful sound. He knows the history. He knows what those are. He listens to the prophets. He has the records. Right? He has his own historians and everything that keep track of the history that the normal citizen isn't taught. Right? A dreadful sound is in his ears, and prosperity, the destroyer, shall come upon him, and he's in his prosperity. It says, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. So the Lord is waiting for this nigga with that destroying instrument. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. And these devils know that their time is short. This is why they're having so many meetings. This is why they're sitting there trying to speed up the plans. This is why the whole Great Reset is getting so much traction, because they know that their days are at hand. The number of his months are with the Lord. Right? Many, tekel. They keep opening those portals, and they're getting the same message. Many, tekel. Your kingdom is weighed in the balance, and thou art found wanting. Right? The Lord is about to end his rulership. Shalom.